Okay folks, so I'm going to solve each of the following by completing the square. I'll only do one at a time because otherwise I take up too much room. So let's look at A. So I've got x squared plus 4x minus 11 equals 0. So the first thing I need to do is I start writing this down underneath, but I stop at this term here. Okay, so I'm just looking at these because I want a term here that'll will turn this into a perfect square. I want 3 terms to make a perfect square. So I'm going to put a plus. Now I'm going to follow this pattern. The pattern is just look at this, halve it and square it. Okay, so I'm just going to put it in brackets. So I've halved it and square it. Now because I've added this, I've actually got to subtract it. So then I don't change the sum, and then I can't forget this fella here on the end. Okay, so I've got to that. So what I've got here, these 3 terms, is a perfect square. I'm going to do x plus, because there's a plus here, so I put my plus there. 4 over 2 half is 2. There's my perfect square. Now I write this down. 4 over 2 is 2. 4 over 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So I can write my 4. Minus 11 equals 0. So now I've got x plus 2 squared minus 4 minus 11 equals minus 15 equals 0. Now, some people will rearrange this equation and solve it for x, but one way that I like to do it is this is in the form of the difference between 2 squares, and I like this way, and I'll explain why in a moment. So if we've got the difference between 2 squares, that means I get x plus 2 minus the square root of 15, okay, x plus 2 plus the square root of 15 equals 0. So this didn't look like a square root. Normally we've got 25s and 16s, but I can take the square root of it, so I get this. So from the null factor law, okay, and I'm running out of room, I can get x plus 2 minus 15 equal to 0, or, and I'm running out of room, plus 2 plus root 15 equal to 0. So now I'm going to go up here. So my solution is x minus root 2 plus root 15, or x minus root 2 minus root 15. So I've got my solution there. So it's following this pattern. Now, if people here, if they go to this and solve it, they sometimes forget that there's 2 values, and that's because of when they square root the 15. So doing it as difference between 2 squares, then I'm guaranteed to get these as solutions. Okay, I'll leave it there, and I'll do another little video for another one.